Hello from Gardening at Douentza here in Wexford, Ireland. And today I thought I'd show you my hardy orchids. More specifically, I want to show you this particular one, which is in full flower now, I think. This is a hybrid called Ulla Silkens, and it's a lovely one, I think. Now, unfortunately, the weather has had to go at a couple of the blooms, but I have 5 flowers this year, and it is doing really well for me. I have this plant in my hardy orchid bed, and I just wanted to take a few moments now to talk to you about how I built this. A couple of people have asked me, can you grow hardy orchids outdoors in Ireland? And the answer is, you can, but you have to really want to. Now, what I mean by that is, it's not easy. These plants are hardy, but the key thing is drainage in our climate. I mean, we live in Ireland, it rains all the time, and drainage is key. If you don't want the plants to rot, you really have to set up a bed for them which has excellent drainage. And that means quite a bit of work in the initial setup. Once the plants are in place, it's not too bad, but you know, you do have to do that initial setup preparation work. And my plants, they look like they're planted in the ground, and they are planted in the ground, but they're actually planted in a bed that was completely excavated. Now, this whole area was dug out. I paid my teenage son to do it, dug it out, and then what I did was, you can just see here, can you see in the ground there, that's slate, and I sunk this vertically at the edges of the bed, just to, well, as a kind of like retaining wall, and then divided the dugout area into 3 sections for 3 different types of hardy orchids I wanted to grow. Cypripedium, Calanthe, they need almost earth, like they can be grown in woodland conditions really, and Epipactis, and there's bletilla there as well, which haven't done very well for me. My hardy orchid bed is sited in the shade of some trees over here, so the retaining walls at the edge of the bed were important to keep the tree roots back. But these plants, they do like a bit of shade, and they need a bit of shelter, because you don't want them blown to smithereens the minute they come up. Now, as it is, even though I have mine in a very sheltered area, you can see I have to stake them all the same. And this one here, this was Aki Pastel, and that flowered for me earlier on, but the flowers have gone over now. Should cut them really, shouldn't I? And the whole area was then backfilled with a mixture of bark, perlite, a little bit of soil in some cases, and grit. And that took a bit, and it was quite expensive, but the result is now I don't need to worry about these plants rotting. And I'll take an example of what I'm talking about. You see that little fella down there? Well, that's my Cypripedium reginae, and I started out like everybody else starts out with these plants, just buying them and planting them in the garden with a good bit of grit under their feet and hoping for the best. And hoping for the best didn't work with this reginae, and it just got steadily smaller and smaller until it nearly disappeared on me. So last year I dug it up and put it here in the hardy orchid bed. Now, I don't know if it's too late, but it's come up this spring, so maybe I'm going to get flowers on that soon. You can see at the front of the bed I've got this Heucherella in here. That's just for show. In a little while, or when I manage to save up enough funds to buy a few more Cypripedium, that'll come out, and I'll put a few more at the front. But Cypripedium are very expensive plants, so you really don't want to be mucking around trying them out in the garden here and there and losing them. They're really too expensive for that, so it really is worth doing the preparation work beforehand. And remember to water and feed these plants. Now they are planted in a substrate that's, you know, mostly inorganic. It's mostly made up of grit, so they will not retain much moisture and they don't get much food. So you need to water them and feed once a week, certainly in growing season. Just watch them as well in periods of drought. So that's all for the moment, really. I just wanted to show you these flowers when they were looking their best, and I guess they're really looking their best now. It's unfortunate about the weather getting those too. But I have space in this bed for a couple more Cypripedium, so I think that's next on the cards. If you're buying them, I really do advise you not to buy small little seedlings, but to get one that's flowering size with, I don't know, 2 or 3 noses if you can possibly afford it, because you have a better chance. You really do have a better chance. And if it doesn't work out the other way, then you're not quite sure whether it's down to how you planted them or whether the plant just wasn't strong enough to survive anyway in the first place. Doesn't that Heucherella look lovely in the sun? Anyway, that's all for the moment. I hope you liked this video, and if so, please do give it the thumbs up and all that kind of thing, and do subscribe to me. That's all for the moment though. Bye now.